Hi guys, welcome back to Vijayan H Academy. So this will be with respect to your part 2 of class 12 macroeconomics chapter 1 and 2. So first class is dealing with both chapter guys, chapter 1 and 2. So whenever you will NCERT chapters after these two videos, we completed chapter 1 and 2 from your macroeconomics. Alright. So in the first session we have spoken about the valuation of money, then how macroeconomics as a subject got evolved, then we have dealt about the various functions of the money. Then we have seen the various payment systems. Then we have seen about bank money, and in bank money we have seen about a lot of stuff. And only the last session after bank money, what we have is cryptocurrency. So if you want to know about cryptocurrency, but we can dig deep into it. But the cryptocurrency digging deep will only touch you with science and technology. But we'll see cryptocurrencies only with respect to the extent to which it is required for economy. So we'll just see the economy aspect of cryptocurrency in this lecture. Okay, so we'll continue the session, which will be your part 2. Okay. Okay. So coming to the evaluation of money, as I've told you, we have seen about commodity money. Then after commodity money, what is it? Metallic money. Then after metallic money, paper or currency. Then we have something as bank money. We are done with bank money, about every aspect of bank money. Then final one is cryptocurrency. Okay. So cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. So first we'll see what is a blockchain technology. Don't go much about it. Just see the important points what I've told. What I'll tell you here. Blockchain is a secure decentralized database. Okay, so it is a decentralized database where there will be many nodes. Okay, where there will be many nodes that maintains a continuous list of records transactions. So these nodes will be storing the records of transactions. Okay, so old entries. So after passing from this node to this node, we can't delete the old entry. The old entries can't be deleted. New entries will be visible to all. Only new entries will be visible. The old entries will be recorded and they can't be deleted. Mainly used for running cryptocurrency network. So how this cryptocurrency known as Bitcoin came into picture? It was came into picture when some anonymous user known as Satoshi Nakamoto, he launched a cryptocurrency which is known as Bitcoin. Same way, what are the various other cryptocurrencies in the market? We have Ethereum, we have Litecoin, you have Digicoin, you have Lakshmi Coin, you have Ripple, etc. These are the various cryptocurrencies as of now available. So first we'll see what are the negative points and why the usage of cryptocurrency is challenged in a big way, even by the government as well as by the RBI. We'll see the reasons for that. First is in the environment perspective. Why? Because to mine the cryptocurrencies, you need hell lot of graphic power for your computers. You need hell lot of speeding power for your computers, for which you have to use high power graphic cards for your computers. So these graphic cards demand and price will hike 2 to 4 times due to this Bitcoin mining, because of which e-waste will be generated in a big way, and thermal electricity wastage. Why? Because to mine one Bitcoin, it will take a lot of power and a lot of graphic power. So more power demand will be there, then e-wastage will be there. And now, if quantum computing or quantum computers invention gets in a big way, then this much of graphic card requirement and this much of usage will be reduced. And once graphic or quantum computers comes in a big way, it will solve blockchains within seconds. And when you solve blockchain within seconds, that implies you can mine a lot of bitcoins or any virtual coin in a within minutes to hours. So this will even reduce the value of bitcoins. Okay, why bitcoins are that much valuable? Why? Because the mining for bitcoins takes a lot of time as well as a difficult process. But soon after invention of these quantum computers, these bitcoins can be mined in within seconds or minutes or hours. Hence, the value of bitcoins will also be very less, and this in turn will affect the volatility of bitcoins. Okay, and now what Bitcoin wallet will have? Bitcoin wallet will have public address like an email and private key like a password. So unlike Paytm wallet, okay, at least if you send money through Paytm wallet, you have to give your phone number, then you have to verify your phone number, then you have to verify your mail ID, you have to go for KYC now. But for Bitcoin wallets, there will be having only public address like an email and a private password. So without any phone number and email ID, you can create a Bitcoin wallet. Hence, anything which does not have any KYC, it will be difficult to trace by law enforcement agencies. Suppose if it is misused in narcotics or illegal trade or terror. Why? Because anybody with a Paytm wallet they can send n number of bitcoins to anybody with some address like mail ID. Apart from that, we won't be having any details like the person who sent it, his person phone number, or any KYC about it. We won't be knowing about him, right? Because just with a password and a Bitcoin payment address, you can send number of bitcoins to that, and that's how the law enforcement agencies won't be able to track the use of bitcoins in the areas like narcotics or illegal trade or terror finance. Okay. So selling goods and services by exchange of bitcoins, the GST won't be there, then custom duty will be reduced, the income tax also won't be there on merchant profit. Why? Because first of all, the transaction remains untraceable. Now suppose if there is any scam, suppose you got cheated by Bitcoin scams and all, then there won't be any body under Consumer Protection Act under which you can claim justice. Why? Because first of all, bitcoins are not accepted as legal tender, or bitcoins are not at all regulated in India. This point is very much important. Do we have anybody to regulate India? No, there is nobody to regulate bitcoins in India. At the same time, bitcoins are banished or prohibited in India. Okay. So again, what is the one more negative point for traditional rupee to dollar exchanges? Forex dealers, normally if you have to exchange your rupee with a dollar, then these forex dealers have to register with RBI under FEMA Act. So when dealers register themselves with RBI under FEMA Act, then tracing those forex dealers will be easy for RBI. Why? Because they would have registered under RBI under Foreign Exchange Management Act. What is this FEMA Act? Foreign Exchange Management Act. So kindly go through about what is Foreign Exchange Management Act as your homework for today. Okay. So how these forex dealers are regulated by RBI, they are monitored with KYC, then Prevention of Money Laundering Act, the Enforcement Directorate. Likewise, there are various institutions as well as bodies to regulate forex dealers. Okay, suppose the same rupee or dollar is exchanged with Bitcoin, then what will happen? We don't know where that money is going to. We don't know who has sent that, or we don't know whether it's sent to tax havens or not. So tracing it becomes very unpredictable. And for terror financing, they are using this bitcoins for changing dollars into bitcoins. Okay, so then there won't be any different exchange rate, so speculation will be there, volatility will be there. Then selling and buying of these bitcoins, even government will be deprived of capital gains tax, unless and until when you buy some sale, or when you buy some stock or sell some stock, whatever money you gain by selling that has to be paid for government in the form of capital gains tax. Okay, now there will be many Ponzi investment frauds. So government came up with a scheme known as Banning of Unregulated Deposit Schemes Ordinance. The government came up with an ordinance. Even Ponzi schemes, they have been brought under this act, Banning of Unregulated Deposit Schemes Ordinance, under which Ponzi investment frauds as well as like these bitcoins also will be regulated. Now, what is the legality status of cryptocurrency in India? Since 2013, RBI has been warning people. And in spite of many warnings, trade in Bitcoin was going in a big way. So in 2018, RBI directed all banks, mobile wallet companies to stop relations with any cryptocurrency company. Okay. So cryptocurrencies are not illegal in India. But coming to the blockchain technology, RBI's Institute for Development and Research in Banking and Technology, they are using, or they are studying how to use this blockchain technology for promoting digital economy. Mind it, bitcoins are type of virtual currency produced with the use of blockchain technology, produced with the help of a technology known as blockchain technology. So instead of accepting cryptocurrencies legally in India, instead what RBI is using, RBI is studying this blockchain technology for promoting digital economy in India. Hope that is clear. Now, for regulating these cryptocurrencies, there was a committee formed. In 2017, Dinesh Sharma committee formed under Finance Ministry to suggest total ban on cryptocurrencies. But again, activists challenged in Supreme Court. So government set up a new committee known as Subhash Chandra Garg Committee, same under Finance Ministry, to draft a law and framework for cryptocurrencies in India. So Dinesh Sharma Committee and Subhash Chandra Garg Committee, for what they were formed? For drafting a law and regulating cryptocurrencies. So this type of MCQs forms important for your multiple choice questions. Now, what about the statement or the stand of Government of India in 2018? Government of India in the 2018 budget itself said cryptocurrencies are not legal tenders in India. So this is the present status in India. Cryptocurrencies are no more a legal tender in India. Will eliminate the use of these cryptocurrencies in financing illegitimate activities as part of the payment system. So this was a statement by Government of India as part of 2018 budget. Okay. Now we'll see how about internationally, or how about the stand of various governments or countries. Now usage of blockchain technology has been in a big way. Why? Because World Bank itself launched the world's first blockchain bond. So they used blockchain technology for trading bonds. That bond is known as Bond I. What is the bond? World Bank launched world's first blockchain bond known as Bondi, where it is launched in Australia. And what is the denomination in terms of Australian dollars? So public invest this much of amount in this bond and they get 2% interest after 2 years. What will happen because of usage of blockchain technology? They require less cost in server maintenance, data maintenance, paperwork maintenance, unlike traditional bonds. So using the blockchain bond, we can regulate it easily, as well as the server maintenance will come down. And instead of cryptocurrencies, the bonds will be traded in the denomination of Australian dollars. Okay. Now coming to one more country, Marshall Islands, it became the first country to launch its own cryptocurrency. Named Sovereign. So there are now two legal tenders in Marshall Islands. One is US dollars, another is sovereign, which is a cryptocurrency. And having their own cryptocurrency will eliminate the anonymity like bitcoins. How it eliminates, we'll see in the next slides. Okay. Now coming to Vietnam. Vietnam also launched its own cryptocurrency known as Petro, whereas Marshall Islands own cryptocurrency is So, whereas Vietnam's own cryptocurrency is Petro. Okay. And how they are able to regulate or how they are able to address the anonymity, like in the case of bitcoins, Petro, a cryptocurrency, its price is linked with market price of one oil barrel. So the price of cryptocurrency Petro is linked to the market price of one barrel oil price, and this is how they are reducing the anonymity with the cryptocurrency. So this Petro is recognized as a fiat money as well as legal tender in India. Why? Because its price is linked with the market price of one barrel oil. Okay. Now these Petro, the cryptocurrency Petro, can be bought using what? Can be bought using dollar, euro, and even other cryptocurrencies. Okay. So the Petro cryptocurrency can be bought using dollar, euro, and other cryptocurrencies. And the sale of this Petro began in 2018 November from Vietnam. Okay. Now, Ministry of Finance, Department of Economic Affairs has proposed a draft bill called Banning of Cryptocurrency and Regulation of Digital Currency Bill 2019, which is under drafting stage and which has been put for public debate. So don't know it will turn into act. Okay. So what is the main objective of this bill? It aims to ban the use of all types of cryptocurrencies issued by private operators. And the punishment for this is non-bailable offense up to the jail term of 6 years. Okay. And now there is one more type of coin known as stable coin. What is a stable coin? It is a type of cryptocurrency whose price is backed by a reserve asset. Like gold, dollar, or fiat currency. Example, Facebook's Libra. So Libra is the cryptocurrency launched by, or the stable currency launched by Facebook, which is known as Libra. So the value of Libra will be backed by a reserved asset like gold, dollar, or fiat currency. Then you have Tether, you have Dogecoin, you have USD. These are the type of stable coins whose price is backed up by reserve assets like gold, dollar, or fiat currency. Okay. Now, but even these stable coins are also some challenge. They can be used in a big way for money laundering or terror financing, lack of consumer financial frauds. Same way black money is used, even the stable coins also can be used. So in 2019 December, the European Union announced that no stable coins will be allowed in EU until we frame a law on it. But in 2019 October, UNICEF, United Nations Children Education Fund, set up a cryptocurrency fund to accept donations in cryptocurrencies. It has become the first UN organization to accept cryptocurrency. So if the bit is like, what is the first UN organization to accept cryptocurrency for donations? It is UNICEF. Okay. So this is about cryptocurrencies in brief, guys. Don't think much about it. Cryptocurrency, the legality status, then any law on behalf of government, any committee formed, then there is a committee studying blockchain technology. Then where else in the world this currency is accepted? Like anybody using this blockchain technology. Okay. So then what is stable coin and how its price is backed with? Then various countries own sovereign cryptocurrencies like Peso from Vietnam, then Marshall Islands, SOAP. Okay, so these are the important stats which you should remember for the exam. Okay, now we are done with the evolution of the money, guys. Okay, now the next part, same. See, as I told you, core economy also follows the same chapters as in NCERTs. First, we have seen the evolution of money. There, I have told you just normally about various evolution stages of money. But in core economy, we will be discussing each and every aspect under that. So we are done with the evolution of money. In next coming chapters, we will be discussing about demand for money, supply of money, okay, how money is created, how demand for money is met, and how supply of money is carried out. Okay, so this was fine. Have a good day.